We've all heard ghost stories. Some send chills down our spines, while others seem more like tall tales. But what if those stories were real? Imagine living in a house where unexplained things happen in the dead of night, and the supernatural is simply part of your daily routine. That's the reality for a few well-known celebrities who, despite their fame, share their homes with something or someone otherworldly. Take Sting, for example. During an interview with James Corden, the legendary musician casually mentioned that his home, a 16th century manor house in Stonehenge, England, is haunted. Now, you'd expect that from a centuries-old estate, right? As Sting himself joked, if you haven't got a ghost in a 16th century manor house, you need one. But this wasn't just an old creaky door or some weird noises in the attic. One night, Sting and his wife were startled awake by the sight of a woman holding a baby standing in their bedroom. That's right, an apparition right there in front of them. As unnerving as it sounds, Sting seemed to take it in stride, as if it were a regular occurrence in a house with such history. Could it have been the spirit of someone who once lived in the manor, or perhaps a residual memory from another time? Regardless, it's clear that Sting's home is one that holds secrets from centuries past. The house itself, located near the ancient site of Stonehenge, is steeped in history. Stonehenge, with its mysterious origins and spiritual significance, already lends an otherworldly air to the area. Many believe the stones themselves hold a certain energy, and it's no surprise that nearby estates like Sting's might also carry remnants of the past. With centuries of life and death passing through those old walls, it's easy to imagine that not all souls have found peace. Some might still linger, caught between this world and the next, occasionally making their presence known. In Sting's case, it seems like these spirits are not malevolent, but their sudden appearances are nonetheless spine-tingling. Just picture waking up in the middle of the night to see a figure standing silently at the foot of your bed, their gaze unwavering as they clutch a child in their arms. Most of us would be paralyzed with fear, but Sting seems to have accepted that these ghostly visitors are simply part of living in a place with such a rich and mysterious history. But Sting isn't alone in his supernatural encounters. Johnny Galecki, star of The Big Bang Theory, has had his own ghostly experiences, and they might be even creepier. Galecki owns a 150-year-old cabin that he describes as very inhabited. But unlike most people who might flee at the first sign of paranormal activity, Galecki has chosen to embrace it. In fact, he considers the spirits to be part of the household, referring to them as his roomies. That's right. He's been cohabiting with ghosts for years and seems completely at peace with it. Galecki's cabin, nestled in a remote wooded area, already has an eerie atmosphere. Surrounded by tall trees and the quiet stillness of nature, the cabin feels isolated from the rest of the world, a perfect setting for ghostly occurrences. According to Galecki, the spirits in his home are more than just fleeting shadows or distant whispers. There have been moments when objects move on their own, doors open and close without explanation, and strange sounds echo through the house late at night. Despite all this, Galecki has managed to maintain a calm demeanor about it all. He's even established a set of rules for coexisting with his spectral roommates, the most important being, don't talk about the ghosts inside the house. This rule may seem odd, but it's rooted in a kind of unspoken agreement between Galecki and the spirits. By not acknowledging them out loud, he seems to believe that they'll remain peaceful and won't cause too much disturbance. It's a delicate balance, respecting the presence of the spirits without crossing any boundaries. Galecki's philosophy is one of mutual coexistence, where both the living and the dead can share the same space without conflict. Of course, this is easier said than done, especially when you consider the unpredictable nature of the supernatural. But so far, it seems to be working for Galecki, who has embraced the haunted nature of his home rather than trying to fight it. Interestingly, neither Sting nor Galecki seems particularly frightened by their ghostly encounters. Sting's manor has the charm and mystique of Old England, where tales of spirits roaming ancient estates aren't uncommon. The English countryside, with its rolling fog and centuries-old buildings, is a place where the line between the living and the dead has always felt thin. Galecki's cabin, on the other hand, seems to exude a more rustic, eerie vibe. surrounded by the weight of history and lingering presences. The creaking of wooden floors, the howling of the wind through the trees, and the feeling that you're being watched. It's a classic haunted house scenario. Yet, both men have found a way to live harmoniously with whatever forces exist in their homes. Perhaps it speaks to their personalities, cool, collected, and unbothered by things that might send most of us packing. Or maybe, once you've spent enough time in a haunted house, you simply get used to the idea that you're never truly alone. It's fascinating to think about how some people view these encounters as just part of the deal when living in such old, storied places. For Sting and Galecki, their homes are not just residences, but living relics of the past, places where the history is so thick, it almost takes on a life of its own. While most of us might prefer to keep our homes ghost-free, Sting and Galecki seem to have found a way to make it work, blending their modern lives with the remnants of the past. So, next time you hear a strange noise in the middle of the night, maybe think twice before jumping to conclusions. Or, better yet, just make sure you've got a few ground rules in place, like Galecki. After all, you wouldn't want to upset your ghostly roommates. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share the video. See you next time.